Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I had to miss the live stream last night. I had to postpone it over on OTWP report, but we will be having one over there. I think it's scheduled for today, for later tonight. But I wanted to come on this morning and talk about a few things right after this. Grab your coffee. Grab your coffee. We'll roll in a minute. I know I'm great at pop-ups, aren't I? Pop-up lives. Tamara, good morning. Rick, good morning. Country Prepper 19. It is Thursday. It says your tumbler will be to you by Saturday, so keep your eye up for that. RCX, good morning. Beverly, good morning. Susan Vlogs, good morning. Tam, good morning. Rick Codwell's up in the house. So I want to bring this up this morning and talk about it a little bit here. So as you can see there, good morning, she's Wildflower. As you can see there, there is a lot of jamming of internet and airplane technology, the radars and things like that going on right now. Let me see if I can stop that. Let me hold on. I want to show that. So look where it's at though. Denmark, Poland area is pretty much jammed out. They jammed them. They jammed them pretty hard. We also have coming in from Germany today. Miss Needle probably knows about it that the farmers are in an uproar. They have culled more chickens. They are shutting. They're doing all these subsidies for their vehicles and stuff, and so they're shutting them down. And Germany, the farmers, and in Denmark are outraged. They're taken to the streets. So I thought I'd bring that up this morning as well. Yeah, is there a lot, Miss Needle? Miss Needle's here from Germany, so she can kind of tell you in the chat what she's seeing. But Miss Needle also reported from Germany something we talk about often on prepping channels is make sure you have candles, flashlights, things like that. And she said that they couldn't even buy flashlights over there. So the farmers are out in droves, and they're not too happy about what's happening. I think that we're going to see more and more people, around the world just taking to the streets and fighting this overreach that's happening right now. Um, there's a lot of headlines. Rice right now is the highest that it's ever been in price in 15 years, in over 15 years, folks. So that's like something huge too that came out today. But we all kind of seen where this was going with the rice. I think it was like 3 years ago that China started buying up their own rice and buying up rice from around the world. Good morning, Brandy. And they started buying up rice around the world, right? And so they were like basically setting themselves up just like they did with the gold. Yeah. And it's crazy where they're pushing the whole world is into this um, eating some bugs. And y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, y'all see me eat bugs before on here. But I'm going to tell you right now, uh, they're talking about sustainable food chain and sustainable this and that. Well, maybe if we quit destroying it, maybe it would be maybe we'd be fine, right? Yeah, yeah, it has. The prices have been going up, up, up. Yeah, and they are all over the world, RCX. They really are. I thought this was interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on this where the jamming's happening because when we got to think about this, like what I was talking about last night with the hackers and stuff yesterday afternoon on OTWP report, is that you know if they start jamming up our aircrafts that are flying over a certain area to keep track of things, think about where that could put us in the United States if they came across the United States and jammed us up, just like they did in Ukraine when they took down. Um, yeah, it is. It's good versus evil, Rick. I mean, really, honestly. But just think if they came over the United States, like how that balloon just happened to go across the United States. And remember when we tracked a satellite from Russia that was loose and we watched it for like what, I think 8 or 9 hours. You know, these things are happening all over the world, not just in the United States. And I think the more that we see them, that, it should be one of those wake up calls like, this isn't just about the USA. This is about a total lockdown of people's beliefs, of people's ways around the world, and it's happening more and more. Good morning, Royal Linus. Good morning, Bev. Yeah. So very interesting about the jamming. I wanted to show that, and I have another one here. This is the El Paso Migrant Situational Awareness Dashboard, and we're going to have a special over on OTWP report, but I want to touch on it in a minute. There is so many murders happening, and last year there was over 2,000 that happened from illegal immigrants. I'm really wondering like what's going to occur in 2024. Like what kind of spike are we going to see? You can see the numbers there. That graph kind of shows like how many they're catching, where they're at, and El Paso is in a big, huge problem. I mean, this is from last Friday, and I've got 4 or 5 of these different ones that I'm going to be able to bring up on OTWP report, and we're going to be able to just watch them. And uh, well, I think all of them are building bunkers. I think all of them are building bunkers. Uh, you know, Zucker, Sucker, he got a bunker. Uh, and the interesting thing is also in Hawaii, that's where he built his, and there's some other big names that have built bunkers over there. So, you know, um, what do they know that we don't know? Well, I would say that they're getting ready for the big one. The big one. And where's that going to leave the common folks? Middle class and poor people and elderly, disabled, in is not good. Is not good. Um, Also, there's this big, huge thing out right now that's coming in Iran, Iraq, um, and they're going to close down the strait there in the Red Sea. And when that happens, we've been talking about what's going to occur is all the shipping. The shipping is going to be a huge, huge thing, because I already talked about it over at OTWP report, but what's going to happen is instead of it arriving to us in a week to 3 weeks, it's going to be like 3 to 9 weeks or longer. And we've been watching the Maritime for a long time, so we all know that this is it's coming and it's going to happen. The other interesting thing is there's so many children coming in across the border, and I want to touch on this a minute. There's so many children coming across the border, right? And this is just kind of my morning take on things that are going around the world. So, but there's so many coming in, and what they've come to find out is there's people that are putting in for these children that are saying that their aunt or their uncle, or one of them actually even said they were a father. And then when they went to the house to do some type of inspection on these children, one house in New Jersey had over 40 kids. 40, y'all. Had over 40 kids. And one of the boys ran away. And the reason I know about this boy that ran away is because he ran away and he committed a crime. And his crime was absolutely horrific. He actually murdered somebody, and the murder that he committed was absolutely horrific. The lady, I don't know if that was the lady that was pregnant, or no, it was the young girl that he murdered in her own bedroom, in her own house, while her parents were there. Her parents also took some stabs as well. But 40 some kids in one house. What's really going on with that? Like, why are all these children coming in across the border? And just a question. Um, oh, I bet. I bet they are, Tam. They are. I think that there's something really fishy going on with that as well. But think about that. 40 some kids, 42 I think is the number, the actual number. 42 kids in one house. Why? Why was there 42? Why would the government even allow 42 kids to go into one household period, right? The second thing is most of these illegals that are coming in right now, do you know how far out their court dates are? Some of them are over 10 years. 10 years. So you tell me that the United States has the capability to keep track of these people for 10 years. They've also proven, right, time and time again, they've proven it. This is coming in from Border Patrol, is that they have proven that most of those people will not show up for those court dates. Well, no shit. I mean, come on. I mean, but literally, that's a bad situation. Then we have Russia and other countries saying to ditch the U.S. dollar, and that's going to put. I'm telling you, folks, when it happens, it's going to happen so dang quick that it's going to make all of our heads spin because we're going to wake up one morning and it's just going to be over. It's just going to be over. Russia. Russia is calling on BRICS to ditch the American dollar. And we all know that everybody's jumping to BRICS. Excuse me. But we have to think about this too. Why? Okay, if any of you were a leader of a country, including me, right? Say we each have our own country, and we've known for decades, uh, literally since the 60s, 50s, 60s, that the American dollar was no longer backed by gold. But yet, everybody was directed to trade in the American dollar. And then all of a sudden, this BRICS comes out and they said everything we do is going to be backed by gold. Where would you rather be, by paper or by gold? Well, I don't know about y'all, but I would jump to the gold side. We should have never, ever, ever got off the gold standard. We should have never, ever had that happen. We should have always stayed focused on having everything we have backed by the gold. I've also always wondered what happened to all the gold that we had in Fort Knox. Oh, I bet you that's gone. I 99.9% bet that that's gone. And it does. It's unbelievable. Excuse me, y'all. It is very interesting. Well, imagine what it's going to do. Oh God, imagine what it's going to do, Brandy. And it's not just in the last 6 days. It's just what they're showing us, right? I mean, honestly, if you think about hyperinflation, Brandy, and we take it back 2 years ago, and look at the prices that we're paying now for stuff, that's huge. That is huge. I do want to bring this up real quick. The other thing that I think is, where's it at here? So, of course, the U.S. has stepped it up. Um, we are sending more and more and more to freaking Ukraine. It's like throwing shit in the wind. It's like, is it ever gonna stick? I doubt it. No, not gonna stick. It's gonna be a disaster from disasters, right? And hey, Texas Red Leg, what's going on, man? It's gonna be. It's we are like it's our whole country is without the rule of law. The migrant crisis is going to definitely affect each and every one of us as they come into our towns or our cities, wherever. It's going to be to the point that um, we're not going to know, we're not going to have feel safe anywhere we go, and I think that that's already occurring. I mean, good morning, fishermen. And I don't know. I just I keep looking at it. Yeah, the hugest one ever, right? Uh, Probably the hugest one ever. And I had to make that cartoon and kind of chuckle about it. Old Joey Joe's up there and he's kind of sniffing on Zelensky, and Zelensky's saying, "Do I have to go through this another day?" And but he has his hand out, and he's waiting for some more money. And that's what it's really about. It is We were watching something last night. I've been kind of in this series called The Pacific, and it's about WW2. And they were really talking about all these things that are happening on taxation and all that. And it was really interesting to me. Let me see if I have it up here. I think I do. Yeah, right here. So this lady is very. No, I better not play this over here. I better wait. I better wait. I got I got one more day, y'all, till it's off here. So I better wait. Yeah, I got to play it safe here on this channel. I do want to talk about the crime report, and every time we pull this up, look at it. I mean, isn't that beautiful? It is a beautiful thing. Good morning, stepping in it. So you can see there the crime report once again is just like off the chart. The thing I want to talk about though with the crime report is, people keep saying, "Well, I'm in a rural area. It's not going to happen here. I'm in this area." We got an hour ago today, folks, this morning, two people were killed in what deputies described as a violent incident at a home in Fresno County. On Milwaukee police are investigating a deadly overnight shooting at a gas station. It's going to get worse. We're going to see food riots. That's really sad. The one in Milwaukee, though, that boy was shot, only 18 years old, and that's really really sad. Um, you got a responding to a stab wound. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. Sound of gunshots and police to Sador, a police park victim. Go up here into Oregon, Portland police shot and killed an armed suspect at a mall. And you probably heard about that too, that situation. Oh gosh, that's coming back, but you know, to each their own. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I didn't do it the first time. I got the big C, and it lasted about 24 hours. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I know the ramifications on the other hand, right, Brandy? We've talked about it before off of YouTube. And when you say made in China to me anymore, I just want to puke in my mouth. I'm like over China. I'm just over the whole situation with China. Voluntary. Yeah, volunteer today so that tomorrow it can be mandatory. That's the bottom line. But you can see there by the map. I mean, it's all over the country. Good morning, stepping in it. How you doing, baby? Um, you can see it all over the country that every time we open this map, the crime is just escalating more and more and more. And I'm waiting for the day that we open it up and it just looks like a blue blob. I mean, honestly, folks, I'm not kidding. Because it's to that point. It's absolutely sickening. It's ridiculous what's happening. And our own establishment is letting it occur because as we open up the border and we see more and more of these illegals come across, there's so many reports out right now coming in from Border Report. Um, they actually were looking for a missing rancher down right by the border, and they did not. I don't think they found him yet, but what they did find is they stumbled upon a big encampment of drug cartel. Nice, nice, right at the border, right? So that's one of the big things. We also, like I said, we have that huge price increase, and I hope y'all are stacked to the rafters with rice because that's a huge, huge thing that's coming in. I wanted to pull up this other one here. I like to, where's it at? I have so many of these. Okay, where's it at? We also have both the airports. Did you all see that about the two airports, LAX and I think it was JFK? Was it JFK? Both of them with these pro-Palestine protesters. That's a sad day. I don't have no problem with legal protests, but when they should have every single one of them should have been arrested. One, because of the chaos and the confusion and the nonsense they started, and two, is there a point? I'm just gonna say, is there a point? Oh, that's nice. LAX and JFK, yeah. Is there a point though, and I'm going to ask you all in the chat, is there a point where we say, freedom of speech, does it go for everything? I mean, should it go for every single thing? Is there a point where the United States has to say, there's a difference between, like, they're censoring everybody about hate speech and all these things, right? So is there a differentiating line where you go, okay, this is a decent protest. Protest should be able to, protesters should be able to stand up for whatever. But then is there a line that they cross over um, when they're disrupting huge, huge things? Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think once they step across that line, right, is where you go, okay, this is dangerous, not just to the people in the immediate area, but people that are coming into the area, whatever. Good morning, Super Dave. And I think that that's one big, huge thing that we have to look at is there has to be some kind of line. They're drawing all kinds of lines on what we can and can't say, right? But also, as y'all know, the U.S. did launch a strike. We did launch a strike. Thank you, Super Dave. And that strike launched multiple airstrikes against Iran-backed terrorist group in Iraq after a terrorist organization drone strike attack against the U.S. forces at Erbil Air Force Base left 3 U.S. service members injured on Christmas Day. According to the U.S. Central Command, the United States launched airstrikes at 8:45 p.m. on Christmas against multiple facilities in Iraq that were used by the Kataib Hezbollah and other groups in response to the multiple attacks. Now, the United States has been getting a lot of attacks on our military bases, and also our ships are like right in harm's way. And I mean, that's just how it is. They definitely are there. They did do it in response to what had been going on against the coalition forces in Iraq and Syria. Um, and I believe that that's going to escalate. And that was at the direction of your current president, Biden. Not, yeah, your current president. Yeah. Well, and I'm also wondering, do we have some major paid actors coming into the United States and major paid actors that are causing these disruptions? Just something to think about. I think that, yeah, it used to be, but see, now we're without the rule of law, so it doesn't really matter what you do, because you'll get a slap on the wrist and get hauled off and get released the same day. But I think that the big thing is that we do have Americans that are already getting hurt, and this came in from Austin. He said, "My prayers are with the brave Americans who were injured today," Austin stated. "And let me be clear, the president and I will not hesitate to take necessary actions to defend the United States, our troops, and our interests. There is no higher priority." Austin explained that while the United States does not want to escalate conflict in the Middle East region, the military is fully prepared. I call bullshit. I do not think we're prepared. I think we're stretched to the absolute max. According to the recent report by Military Times, the number of attacks against U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq have continued to climb since the start of the war between Israel and Hamas in October. Right now, can anybody take a guess of how many attacks there's been against the U.S.? Anybody in the chat? No. Take a gander. Take a guess. I'm gonna wait and see if anybody's even close um, to how many they think is happening right now. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hey, RR, good morning. Over 100, over 100 attacks. Rick Codwell's almost right on the money. I think it's up to 107 now, Rick. But you're real close. Over 100. And think about that. Think about how many military personnel have put their lives in the line. And you know, Central Command announced also early assessments of the retaliatory airstrikes showed that the strikes resulted in the destruction of the terrorist facilities. Stepping in it your way low, fisherman your way low. I want to say also that we have this other situation escalating also in and around Taiwan. And I'm going to say that honestly, if we think about all the military situations that are happening around the world, it is not looking too good, right? It's not looking too good, um, especially with that situation, because let's take a look here. Did it actually change it when I changed it? It did. And popped up a commercial. Okay, wonderful. They did. The United Nations has asked Israel to stop lawless killings in the West Bank. There's some situations happening there too, where they've actually went in to these encampments. Look at that. It's coming down here more, but there's a lot going on. Israeli army spokesman added a brigade in the areas of the northern Gaza Strip. Up here, more Palestinian Red Crescent. A Palestinian was injured by Israeli security forces. So there's a lot going on there as well. I do want to pull up one more thing real quick. There's a lot. Yeah, there is definitely a lot. Good morning, our Royal Linus, Brandy F, RCX, Tam Tam. We can see there though that things are escalating. The thing that concerns me with the Taiwan and China situation is that the United States has already said that if Taiwan gets attacked, the United States is going to step up. But how many times can we step up when we're spread so thin? That's my big question. Like we just keep getting spread thinner and thinner and thinner, right? I do want to pull this up real quick and see where we're at because I don't think it's looking good. Oh, okay. There's something wrong with that. I can't do it. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Nope. Oh, it's that time of the year. I got to re-verify everything. Oh, that's great. Let's see what else is happening over here real quick. I'm going to pull it up and see what... Hold on one second, folks. I want to pull up the alerts. Woo! Oh, yes. There we go. Let's see what old Biden has in store for Ukraine this time. Jesus criminy, Lord help us. This is ridiculous. Anti-tank weapons, other equipment. Oh, let's give them some more. So we're going to provide them more additional air defense capabilities, artillery ammunition, anti-tank weapons, and other equipment while we throw more money in the wind. Throwing it in the wind. That's what we're doing here. Uh-oh, we got a problem here. This is like getting to the point that are we going to have anything left to protect our country? That's my big question. I don't think there's going to be diddle left. Uh, when it really breaks out, there's not going to be anything left to protect this country, and that's my big concern, right? Yeah, that's what you said, Vermont, and that's not probably the greatest place to be. Yeah, while we have all this going on, and we got freaking Biden on vacation, but he's been on vacation since he took office. How many of you think he checked out the day he checked in? Yeah, I think he's been on vacation since the day he took office. Just saying. I mean, I'm just saying. How can we not see that, right? The you that's the that is the truth. The day he said, "Yeah, me, I'll volunteer for this because they volunteered him." Then he just checked on out. He needs to check on out to go to like the I don't know, the Howdy Doody show or something. Y'all remember that? Maybe he needs to go to Romper Room. I don't know. I'm just saying. Morning, All American. That's the truth, though. I mean, it's sickening. It's sickening what's happening. Wow. Well, and many years ago, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. Many years ago, my friends that lived in Chicago, they were like, "KJ, I'm selling everything," and I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" And I mean, they sold everything except each one of them kept a suitcase and a backpack. That's it. And they sold all of it and they moved to South America. They moved to Costa Rica and they moved to some little island there. And it was actually a very, I would love to get Gary or Cheryl to come on the show because their journey from being in the city to Costa Rica to this little island, I don't even know the name of the island, is very interesting how they had to learn. Well, they didn't need a car, they needed a boat, right? And they didn't need they needed batteries because pretty much everything ran off solar. And their journey watching them go from inner city people in Chicago, right, to islanders has been quite a transformation. Both of them healthier, happier, um, but they had a lot of hurdles to come over. You know, they had a lot of hurdles that they had to jump over. Oh yeah, let's just another 25 million. Is that it? I thought we'd hit the $1 billion mark again. I mean, why not? Just it's all it is paper. The bad thing is there is a lot of mutations going over there, and that's what really concerns me is the mutations. As we watched our country falling apart, we can't control our borders. They don't want to control our borders. You know, there is a big. Somebody said this is all about the voting. I don't believe that I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. Me personally, I think there's something way, way bigger than being about voting for 2024. I think it's more about chaos and corruption, and especially the chaos part. How many of you think it's more? I think it's more to do with chaos. Chaos in the streets is going to take this country to the ground. Yeah, somebody just reported on that, Sheila, and said it is true. Yeah, yeah, it's sickening. Well, no, they are. They are treating. This is the shitty, shitty part, right? You know, this is kind of our kickback morning coffee, and trust me, I need freaking coffee with all the bullshit going on. But, you know, they are actually taking the illegals, and the VA is actually paying for the illegals to get medical treatment. And to me, that gets my blood just boiling. We have, yes, not every vet comes back from a war situation the same way. I would say the majority of veterans go and serve and they don't come back mentally and physically the same way they went in, right? And even people like myself that served this country and got hurt, I got hurt more than once. Um, I didn't come back the same person. And for them to be using the money for the VA from the VA to pay for them to get, you know, for them to be have medical is bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. Well, and I agree with you, Nanya, but you got to be a well-rounded and just, you got to be well-rounded. Tempe Mays, good morning, good morning. And you better have skills. I mean, honestly, Texas Red Leg and Nunya, you got to have skills. You got to have one. A lot of times it's going to be down to that gut feeling that we talked about before. If you have that gut feeling to get out of Dodge, don't sit there and hesitate and say, "Well, should we do it tomorrow? Should we do it later?" If it's telling you to get the hell out, get the hell out. And I think that's where a lot of preppers, people that call themselves preppers, screw up is because they don't want to go with their gut feeling. And I'll tell you what, going with your gut feeling is probably the biggest thing that's going to save your ass. Honestly, not everybody wants to leave. I don't want to leave my cabin. I don't want to leave the forest. I don't want to leave the neighborhood I know. But I'll tell you what, that when you have one of those red flags pop up in your area, you better be and have a damn plan to get out. And that's the truth. Yeah, not much in Sanger, but barbed wire fence. Well, maybe we need more barbed wire fence around properties, Nunya, and around communities. Honestly. Oh yeah, definitely, Brandy. Definitely. I was looking at the Maslow theory. I was reading kind of in depth about it, and definitely we are in the psychological aspect of that for sure. For sure. Hey, Mama Freddie. Yeah. Oh, I agree with you, RR. Like, there's going to be like this major breakdown, right? There's going to be this major breakdown because we talked about this before on the channel, and I think it was a lot. I mean, we talk about things a year ago that are happening right now, but we talked about it and think about it when last 4th of July, you got to turn your mic up, not mine. Nobody else is complaining except you, Mr. Timothy Landcroner. Um, we talked about this before, right? Is that the thing is that many. Hold on 1 minute, folks. Let me see something. Yeah, there's no. It's on your end, not my end. Nobody else is complaining about volume. Maybe who are you, Timothy Landskroner? Uh, Welcome to the chat. But anyway, like when that incident happened at 4th of July, y'all remember that? And everybody was out there having a blast at 4th of July, and then all of a sudden there was somebody shooting. And think about it, they're like trying to take away every American tradition. They've been, it's been like eroding slowly anyway. But then on top of it, um, when that incident happened, then it makes people feel insecure and worried that, oh, this or this or this. That they can't go to a 4th of July celebration or they can't go out Christmas shopping. And it is just hitting us in every angle. And I think that's going to happen more and more. Yeah, exactly. All American. Tam Tam, are you? Yeah, you're in here. Tam Tam, Freckles. Um, I think that as we watch that, though, I think that they're going to do it more and more to the point that people are scared to go out. People are scared to do stuff. There was just another mall shooting. Y'all seen that one too. Um, I think we're going to see a lot more lone wolves in 2024 raising their head. And I think that there's going to be how many of you in the chat right now think there's going to be a FF event that shakes the United States? Like, honestly, hit a one. If you think there's going to be an FF event that just, or the Black Swan, or whatever you want to call it, um, that's going to shake the United States. That's going to be the major wake up call, like 9/11, that scared the shit out of people. And I think that that's going to happen. SLV Prepper, welcome to the chat. Yeah, and I really truly believe it's going to happen. Bought and paid for, right? Kind of like the United States, sold out, definitely sold out. And that's one thing. RCX got sponsored. Yeah, well, and we're watching, around the world, and I think what all eyes should be on Europe. The things that are happening in Europe are definitely going to come our way, and right now we have all the farmers in that situation, and think about it, it's headed our direction, that's for sure. Yeah, Dallas. Well, when I was in Dallas, Texas Red Lake, I lived in Plano, and then I also lived in right by Lake Louisville. And I'll tell you what, man, you can go to some places down there, like on Harry Hines Highway and shit like that, and it's like a different freaking world down there. And I think I can't imagine what down like what is it? Oh, what's the area way down there, down south Dallas? Really bad. Where you exit on Martin Luther King, there's a whole neighborhood right there. I accidentally drove in there one time, and I was like, oh shit, this is not the person. This is not the place for a white person to be, and that's the truth. What is it? It's not Pritchard. Pritchard's in Alabama. Pritchard's the other one in Alabama. No, 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 not Fair Park. I'm talking. It was so bad. I'm telling you, it reminded me of like when the time that I accidentally went to Watts. Okay, it was that freaking bad. I was like, holy shit, and I accidentally went to Watts. True story. When I lived in Los Angeles, there was how we see all these road rage and all this stuff happening around the world. And in the United States, how we see all these road rage situations, really bad one in California. And I lived in California during the Rodney King riots. I lived there during the 7.2 earthquake in San Dimas, which is like far, far east Los Angeles County. And we never thought that, honestly, that it would happen. That themselves with shotguns, uh, I was like, holy shit. And people are setting, we lived in a U-shaped complex, and people were out on their decks and their balconies, like, and just sitting there because it got so bad. At that time, we were paying $9.90 a month for a two-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles County. And after the Rodney King riots, the same apartments went down to 600 bucks. Um, Oak Cliff, that's it, Oak Cliff, baby. Woo, yeah, Nunya. Yeah, screw Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, Balch Springs. Yeah, that's why my ass stayed up there in Texas Red Lake in Plano. I lived right off the tollway, right across from the mall on Steeplechase Drive, and then I lived at the Lakes of Capel. Uh, I lived in like three places there. Yeah, Oak Cliff is woo rough, man. That is like some shit out of shit. Yeah, let's get those thumbs. As if it was your favorite food. Thanks, RR. It is. It's crazy. You don't want to go there after dark, and I did, and I kept on driving. But one thing I remember about Los Angeles when the Rodney King riots happened is that this is when I was stupid, right? That's like 1992. So I never, and Dragonflies gets onto me to this day, is that I never keep the gas tank completely full. I do now because I think that it could happen so quickly that we couldn't be able to access, right, gas, that, like, if we have an EMP or some type of cyber attack or whatever, the gas pumps could go down. So I really, really good prepping tip is keep your gas tanks full. Get your portable tanks, your gas cans, keep them full, right? But when I was living in Los Angeles during the riots, I had a 1972 Camaro, badass car, split bumper. Oh yeah, I was the second owner. Anyway, uh, I didn't have gas. And the first thing that pops in my mind is go get gas, you dumbass, go get gas now. So I go to the gas station, which wasn't very far from my home and from the apartment, and I'm telling you, people were looking at each other like if they could, like, of right there, right then, they would have. That's how much tension was broiling in LA County. And I learned a lot from living through the riots, and living through that 7.2 earthquake, is that I wanted to abandon Los Angeles very quickly and get out of Dodge. And that's exactly what I did. I took out a map, spun a pin, and when the pin landed, it landed on Denver, and I left 3 days later. No shit. No shit. Yeah, Nunya. Oh, Nunya, I'm a Camaro fan, man. I had a 68 Rally Sport. I had a 72 split bumper, and I had an 82 with T-tops, but the 68 would have been the big buck. That would have been the big bucks right there. The cream color with the black pinstripes coming up the top over the roof, and yeah, that would have been the big bucks right now. I am a Camaro nut. Dragonflies is a muscle car nut. She loves muscle cars. Hey, here she goes. Here she goes because I took her into Pritchard. I didn't know, man. I was new. I was new to Alabama. And I said, well, let's exit right here. And she's like, oh, hell no. And then I said, it's too late. Let's go down and check out downtown Pritchard, Alabama. She's like, do you know where we're at? I'm like, well, it looks kind of like freaking Pleasant Grove or Balch Springs or Oak Cliff or Five Points in Denver. I should have, man. I should have kept those cars. That's for damn sure. Uh-oh. Hello, Tropang. Now, Lisa, you ain't from Pritchard. You ain't from Pritchard. This is a small world, y'all. Lisa, when I was in Mobile, Lisa was my customer at the Mobile Flea Market. What'd you buy? Go ahead, Lisa. Tell them what you bought from me. In Mobile, Alabama, I had three indoor shops at the Mobile Flea Market, up there on Schillinger. And Lisa said, I know that I know you from somewhere. And that's where she knows me from. Um, but I was known in that flea market for having the most knives, the most pepper spray, self-defense stuff. But I had knives that were like this big. I had a sheriff connection, and the sheriff would bring me boxes and boxes. Yep, yep, she sure did. She bought a stun stick from me. Small world, small world. That was that was many years ago, Lisa. Many years ago. Glad to see you, sister. Glad to see you. Had two Mustangs, two Camaros, a Nova, Trans Am, and a Corvette. Loved your '68 Buick Riviera. Those cars would get up and go. And see, honestly, like right now, me and Dragonflies are looking for some type of second vehicle. Being out here, we have one thing happen, and it's like the whole freaking world seems like it's turned upside down. Like on the new car we just bought, $289 or something like that. I think it was 289. I'd have to look at the receipt for an alternator. Jesus criminy, folks, we're not going to be able to fix these cars. The good thing is that we have the Equinox and not the Traverse. So we were able. My friend came over and he had to help me because I couldn't pull that. What the hell is that thing, Dragonflies? I was bitching about it. Anyway, the pulley, I couldn't get the pulley right with just two hands. So he came over and helped me, and we got the alternator in, and that was the problem. But shit, 289 and an $80 core charge for that sucker. You sold a Mustang last week. What year? Yep, it was. It was many years ago. But I was on row C and I had a lot of boosts, and I really miss that flea market. I really miss that flea market. Well, this little broadcast, I like when we do these and we have coffee and we just talk all kinds of stuff. Yeah, well, and the kill switch, man. The kill switch. They put them in all vehicles. You know, we all fell for that hook, line, and sinker, didn't we? Oh, this is cool. OnStar, this is cool. You can have XM radio in your vehicle. Yeah, the GPS tracker from hell. That's what you're looking at. 2010. Yeah, I like the 60s and 70s cars, really. Well, y'all, I got to get off here. I got things. I know. I know. Really? Really, Lisa? The Mobile flea market went to shit, huh? Hmm. That's too bad. But it's funny, some of those went to crap, and then other ones really exploded. Like my friends up in Nebraska and Kansas and stuff, they were talking about that once they opened the flea markets back up, that they were just booming, right? So I think it really depends, and it's too bad. But Mobile had some problems. That's where I almost got a kidney stab from some chick that, some lady. Well, I won't even call her a lady. She was ridiculous. Um, Saraville has a huge flea market. So I'm on row C. Lisa, right? You knew where I was. And this chick, she comes up and I have a plexiglass piece across all this costume jewelry that my brother sent me from Nebraska. And so this lady and her daughter, my two booths are on this side. I have another one across the aisle. The other one across the aisle was all furniture, right? Bunk beds and couches and big stuff, generators, AC unit, refrigerators, all that kind of stuff. But she's over there messing with the jewelry, and I was really watching her. But she was so slick. She put her hand up underneath the plexiglass and then rotated her fingers like that and had my jewelry up in here. Then she sent her daughter across to my other booth, and her daughter was still in Blu-rays. And I was like, oh, here we go. So I told her, I was like, ma'am, let's not escalate this any further. Just put the stuff back down. And she's like, I don't have nothing, blah, 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 blah. And she took off walking. I was like, this is bullshit. So we called the sheriff, and I followed her. Well, she turned around, and when she turned around, she had a freaking knife. And if I wouldn't have been alert to be able to step back, she would have gave me a kidney stab. She was that close to me. And that's why like situational awareness is so important, because even people that like, I never ever imagined that that lady would try to stab me, but that she lunged and they caught her. But also, they were passing off fake money in that same flea market there in Mobile too. Yeah, Yep, they were. But she's also the one that did the jewelry too, I think. Or maybe that's two different thefts. I don't know, Dragonflies. We had a lot of shit happen at that flea market. No, that's two different ones. You're right. She was across the way. The one that was still in the jewelry was the other lady. Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was never ending. And having three booths as big as they were, it was like I was not. And sometimes on Saturdays, it was very, very hard to watch people. It was part of doing business is losing, having people steal stuff. And I think the theft thing is going to get way, way worse. Way worse. Well, y'all, I got to get at it. I hope that each and every one of you has a great day. Rogers, Ohio, 10,000 people a day. You got to go to Canton. Good morning, Tomcat, coming in at the end. You see how you are. I think that Canton, Texas is like the big bad boy. That right there is the big one. Great flea market. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what pissed her off. I think that's why she wanted to stab me. But I made everybody aware of it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Canton is huge. Canton is really huge. I'm glad to see everybody. We will have a news broadcast, a pop-up news broadcast at OTWP Report tonight. I would say somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. Good morning, Survival Behind Liberal Lines. I'm frozen. Uh, am I unfrozen yet, Mama Freddy? I was just hanging in there for the frozen. Lisa, big prepper hugs at you. Give big, huge prepper hugs to everybody. You know how we do it at the OTWP. We're going to take it on out with a song. This is your speed news this morning. If you missed that one, that one is hilarious. Everybody, God bless you. Keep doing the legwork. Don't give up. Don't give in. And most of all, just do the dang thing. God bless you all from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. This is OT to the W to the P, a.k.a. Doomsday Prepper. Everybody have a great time. And this goes out to our one and only Elaine. She loves the song. And no, Elaine, we're not out of time yet. Oh, no, that's not the song you like. You like Hector. No, you like Gabriel. Who do you like? Oh, okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it to 2024. We only got a few more days, y'all. Hang in there. Hang in there. Hang tight. You can do it. Or maybe we can't. I don't know shit. But anyway, y'all take it on out with We're Gonna Make It. This is going out to our one and only Elaine, baby. I just can't with you. I just can't. See y'all next time. God bless.
Oh, yeah. Don't be discouraged anymore. You'll find the thing you've been looking for. Pick up the pieces off the floor. Just trust it'll be alright. Your heart is lonely, but it's strong. You might be lost now, and it's not wrong. You'll discover the way, even if it feels long. Just trust it'll be alright. Oh, trust it'll be alright. Be still and know you're loved. Be still and know that you're still good enough. Be still and know that your finish line is only yours to find. Be still and know that you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. Tell all those demons they can hide. They don't know the greatness you have inside. No, stand tall and keep your head up high, and just trust it'll be alright. Yeah, be still and know you're loved. Be still and know that you're still good enough. Be still and know that your finish line is only yours to find. Be still and know that you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. So never give up your